Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new vlog. We are back in the United States right now at Eisei-en, working on building the nursery. As you can see behind me here, we've started actually putting up the fence. This started going up yesterday, about 2 hours after I arrived back from Australia. So you can see we've got the fence posts all up right now. We use 6x6 posts for the whole thing, 8x8 posts for the big gates. That way it's very solid. It holds up really well. It should stay nice and firm for a long time. In addition to using massive posts for each of the fence posts, we're also building the fence a full 8 feet tall. So you might be asking yourself, why are we building an 8-foot fence? Well, this is the reason right behind me here. We've got deer all over the property here. And typically these guys can jump up to about 6 or 7 feet, so we have to make the fence a full 8 feet to keep these guys from jumping in and eating my bonsai. So it's very important for us to have a solid, very tall fence around the entire garden. So while the guys are putting up the rest of the fence today, I'm actually gonna start working on building the benches. Now last year in a vlog, I did a post about how I was planning to build my benches. What we're gonna do here is actually build them as mobile benches. We're not gonna sink any posts into the ground, and that's because this property is just covered in limestone. It's really difficult to dig down into that limestone and sink posts. As a matter of fact, as the guys who were installing the fence were inserting those posts into the ground, they had to bring out some heavy-duty equipment, including jackhammers, to bust through that stone. I don't want to have to do that setting up these benches, so we're going to build these as mobile benches. So the first step in building these mobile benches is to cut all of the wood. And I'm gonna start with the legs because I wanna build the frame for each of the legs first. Now, the legs are gonna be built out of 4x4s, which are a standard size here in the US. I bought 4x4 by 8-foot long boards, and I'm actually gonna cut them down to about 37.5 inches long each. Now I know if you wanna make your benches kind of right at about 36 inches, you could just buy 4x4 by 6s, but I want mine to be a little bit taller because I'm 6'5", and I want my benches to be at my height, not the average height. So I bought the 4x4 by 8s, which means we're gonna have a little bit of waste left over at the very end, but that's not a problem for me. So I'm gonna go through and cut each of these down to 37.5 inches long, and those are gonna serve as our legs. Despite the fact that the ground here is covered in that limestone and it makes it difficult to actually sink the benches into the ground, there are some benefits to having so much rock around. One of those benefits is that we have some nice big flat stones that we can use throughout the garden as features and stepping stones. So what I'm gonna do with this big guy right here is create a landing stone right in front of the main door into the workshop. This thing is about 51 inches wide, so quite wide, very heavy. I'm gonna try to move it over there myself and get it set into place, but this is gonna add a nice feature, I think, right in front of the garden as you enter into the workshop. Another key factor in designing this garden was selecting the proper gravel type. I didn't want it to look like a parking lot, so I didn't want to go with just pure gray, and I didn't want it to be too dark either. So I searched all over Nashville and the surrounding area looking for the perfect gravel, and I came up with this right here. This gravel is nice and soft. It's not too gray, not too dark. It's just the right size as well, so if I need to blow it off with a leaf blower, it's not gonna blow my stones all over the place. And this is a very typical type of gravel that you would see in gardens in Japan. So I wanted to bring that aesthetic into Eisei-en here, bring Japanese aesthetics into our garden here in Nashville, Tennessee. So that's gonna do it for this week's vlog. I have to fly out west now to pick up some trees from the Rocky Mountains. So I'm gonna take you guys along for that ride as well. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.